Hi, everybody, and welcome back to On the Roof. I was lucky enough to sit down with Tao Porchon-Lynch, who's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's oldest yoga teacher. She was gracious enough to give me a few minutes of her time and agreed to sit down with us again for a lengthier interview in the very near future. Here's just a few minutes of some of the things that she had to say. Okay, we're on location at Fred Astaire Dance Studio with the great Tao Porchon-Lynch. Well, welcome to On the Roof in your building.
Thank you very much.
How were you introduced to yoga?
Oh, it goes way, way back. Actually, when I was 8 years old, I saw some boys on the beach in Pondicherry in India, French India, and I thought it was a new kind of game, and they let me join them, and I went home very happy. Said, I've been doing a new kind of game. My aunt said, oh no, that's not a game, that's yoga. And that's not for ladies. It's not ladylike. I said, if boys can do it, I can do it.
Do you consider yourself kind of, in some ways, a champion for like women's causes, like to be able, because you stood up for yourself at 8 years old?
I believe nothing's impossible. If you want to do something, don't procrastinate. Don't put it off till tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. 1 minute after midnight, it's already today. So I don't believe, if I would believe in something, I go and do it, if I think it's right. I was brought up always with the idea that never ask anybody to understand you, learn to understand them. What you're out in the world of, don't say that this person is illiterate, so he's stupid. Know that a farmer knows more about the soil than you do. So you're illiterate about the man's soil. So you learn to go out and talk to people, even that all things were possible, and that you must, you don't have to ask people to have the same ideas as your own. MGM was trying to get rid of my accent. That was why. So, for instance, one of the silliest things I told everybody, I wanted to be a cool girl. And they said, what is a cool girl? I said, you know, it's the coos and the cowboys. It's a big hat. They said, you mean a cowboy? I said, yes, cowboy. I want to be a cowboy. I said, no, you don't want to be a cowboy, you want to be a cowgirl. So they asked me, do you ride a horse? I didn't know what they were talking about. I said, yes. So they got me on a horse, but I didn't know what to say to it to make it go. So I gave it a little kick and it took off. And he tried to get rid of me. So I did a bit to tell the truth. So I started to point and tell them that I'd never ridden a horse before. They thought I meant that I'd never ridden with a saddle before. So they took the saddle off. So then I got into it. Then I used my yoga, because on the horse before I didn't know, and I thought, now what do I do? So I breathed with the horse, and the horse and I got along very well. After a few moments, they're all waiting, sort of like this, wondering what was going to happen. And so we breathed like that for a few minutes. Then it took off, and when I came back, they said to me, where did you learn to ride? I said, I never did. I've never been on a horse in my life. So they all started to laugh. They didn't believe me.
It sounds like an episode of Lucy.
I don't want to shock anybody, but I say to everyone, I don't want to pray to something out in space. I want to pray to that which is beating inside of me.
Mm.
Because when it leaves me, I go back to the soil. And when it's here, it shows me that the same energy that is in everything. I was, even as a child, I once had my ear to the ground, and my aunt asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm listening to the grass grow. And she went to my uncle and she said, I think she's translated in English. She's a little cookie. And she said she's listening to the grass grow. My uncle replied to her, no, she's not. That blade of grass, of which there are billions, it had to have that power inside of it beating. If it wasn't there, it didn't come through with desert. So she wasn't stupid. Everything is life.
You know, I took your class Sunday, and you
Yes.
said a couple of things that were that caught me. One was, and I was just like, if you could just explain it a little more in depth. Water is the blood
Of the earth.
of the earth.
That's it.
Yeah,
What is
what
the
do you
blood
mean
of
by
the
that?
Without it, everything withers and dies. It does, you know. So with the blood which flows through you and in your own body, the energy that's in everything, if you can lock that energy into yourself, you can cure a lot of things. There is no such thing as age or anything. There's such thing of purity of thought that is a power behind all things, and if you're in touch with it, you open the gate to it.
This is brilliant. Thank you so much.
It's-
We'll do this again soon. Thank you.